And now we are supposedly live.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Good afternoon, Dr. Brown.
Hello.
You are looking fantastic this evening. Have you done something new with your hair?
It's not been cut for weeks. That's what I've done with it.
So you're just letting it go, are you?
It allows me to do this.
But you did that anyway.
I did that anyway. That's true. Even when it's short, I do that. It doesn't have quite the dramatic effect, but you know.
You should probably pour the water on your head and try it again.
Yeah, I could. No, it's longer.
Jacob says hello, and we say hello to Jacob.
Hello, Jacob.
We have someone watching us.
We have a person
Incredible,
watching.
Isn't it? We should probably entertain people for 9 minutes or something. There is a very large heat wave going on in the Pacific Northwest, and you hear about towns in Canada who have never seen this kind of heat. Are you a part of that in any way?
Yes, it is currently 36 degrees here. That is Celsius, also known as 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit. I only know this because I looked it up. And it is hot. And when you step outside, it is hot, and then there is a bit of a breeze, and you think that's a nice breeze, but in reality it's not, because it's just hot air blowing in your face.
That is hot air blowing in your face. Not that I'm ignoring you, but Becky says hello from
Hello,
herself
Becky.
and Poppy in Texas. Mr. Ward is in the audience and says hello, gentlemen. I don't know why he calls us gentlemen. He knows us too well. Ruth says hello to both of us. Miss Woodhouse says hello, and yay.
Hello.
And Jacob has a question. Jacob, the very first hello of the evening. 2 record-breaking days
Jacob.
in a row. Is that correct for you, Dr. Brown? Where are you again? I keep forgetting.
I have not kept track. It did say, it was kind of comical when I looked up the weather forecast. It did say, let me re-look this up so that I can read you the specific
verbatim, does it?
Nomenclature that was used, because I thought it was quite funny actually. Red Deer weather. I am warned. It's an official warning, heat warning. You may be able to tell. Red letters.
Red letters, heat warning.
See, but
Yeah,
it's fine.
keep cool.
A prolonged, dangerous, and historic heat wave will continue. Fortunately, this heat wave is supposedly more or less ending on Friday, because on Thursday it's still 34 degrees Celsius, that is not Fahrenheit, and then on Friday it's only 29 degrees, but that's because it's raining. And then Friday rain, Saturday rain, Sunday rain, Monday rain, Tuesday rain, Wednesday rain. So at that point, and that's probably going to snow, and then we're back where we
I was going to say
started.
It's about time for snow, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Rafi says hello. Sin says hello. CYN. If I pronounce that incorrectly, I do apologize. And Mr. Ward says he's got to run, so goodbye, Michael.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure seeing you, as always.
For 30 seconds.
He says he has to go teach. What in the world could he go teach?
Oh.
What couldn't he teach? Well, let's talk about Mr. Ward.
Tennis. I think he could be a tennis instructor.
He could be a tennis. He could probably teach psychology.
Probably. It's not that hard.
Speaking of teaching, are you
Yes,
not a
hello.
teacher?
I've heard that.
How are your classes?
heard.
You still... Last time
they're
I
good.
checked
I had
in with
spring
you,
class.
you were still virtual.
Yes, I am. The virtual part has ended simply because that course has ended. So I now have my non-teaching time until early September. And in principle, the idea is that come September, we shall be back face to face. I say in principle because
nobody knows. Who knows?
I've heard this
really?
before.
Yeah.
I do think that there is serious push to go back face to face, and I also think that at this point, with such a percentage of this province being vaccinated, I myself am now fully vaccinated. I
You didn't
think
have to wait that long.
No.
We weren't expecting this.
No, we were not expecting this, and all of a sudden, it was decided. At least I think, from what I pieced together, that 70%, so that is 70% of the province was vaccinated, and then the government said, you know what, have a second dose whenever you want to, make an appointment, we don't care, because it was very regulated of these people first, this age group, and then this and then this and then it was, you know what, do whatever the hell you want, we don't care anymore. I'm not saying they don't care anymore, but I mean, it was just now that 70% is vaccinated, let's just use it more liberally. Yeah, so that's not bad. So I had my vaccine on Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. It was fairly smooth. I had a bit of a stiff arm. Currently, I only feel it when I do this. Not even stiff
well, don't do
anymore,
that.
and I had zero side effects. Basically, I felt a little warm, but when it's 36 degrees out, you don't know if you're warm because you're having side effects or because it's warm outside. Who knows?
Blame it on the weather.
Right?
Well, good. I'm glad things
so I'm
are
happy.
looking up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to get your second vaccine so quickly because we were expecting August, weren't we?
Yeah, it was initially when I had my first in May, they put on the form 16 weeks because at that point they were planning and I
Right.
suppose following that contingency, and all of a sudden I got a text message from the Alberta government that said, get a vaccine, get your second dose.
Get your second dose. Come
You're
on in.
eligible. It's like, what do you mean I'm eligible? I wasn't eligible before. They
We've
said,
got
"No,
a
you're
needle with your name on it.
eligible. Yes, I was just like, here, stick in your arm, boom, done. So there we go. That's in a nutshell how it proceeded. Yeah, there's even some talk about opening borders.
No, they haven't done that
US.
yet.
It's not there yet, but I believe it will be. I believe it will be happening probably in the near future. But I'm not saying next week. But I do think it's coming now. Now that we have these.
Every morning I text Justin and I say, "Today, Justin?" And he says, "Not today, Eric." And so
not today.
One of these days. Days.
I know, and I also understand that there was some. As it's difficult. It's a very. I also understand. I don't envy the people who have to make these decisions because I mean, there's no pleasing everyone, and of course there are excellent reasons to open borders, and there are excellent reasons not to open borders. So it's very difficult.
Well, aren't the borders only closed in one direction? I can't go visit you. You could come to the United States.
I know. Yeah.
And
no,
I don't think you'd even have to quarantine on your way back. Noemi says hello from Chile, just so you know. It's an international audience.
Hello.
Hello.
We're glad to have you here. I know. I don't think I would have to now that I'm vaccinated after 2 weeks. But I don't know. I have to look that up. I wasn't planning to immediately fly to the US at this point.
No, but you don't have to. The point is you could.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail, as the people said.
Becky informs us that only 40% of people in Texas are vaccinated. And this brings up an interesting point because, as you may or may not know, the CDC has told us in the United States that if we are fully vaccinated, we don't have to wear our masks practically ever.
Yep.
But that unvaccinated persons should continue wearing masks. And I don't see masks anywhere. It was very rare for me to... I did go to the bank today and saw 3 people wearing masks. So, but that was very unusual because masks seem to have disappeared.
But they could have been bank robbers.
Well, yeah. But I am in a county called Outagamie. Outagamie County is the name of the county. And the health department of the county sends me an email every week and tells me what percentage of the population is vaccinated completely, what percentage has had one shot, and 1% has had no vaccination whatsoever. And slightly over 50% have had no vaccination whatsoever. So I figure that every other person should be wearing a mask. And it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I think they were premature in saying that we don't have to wear our masks.
And how do you check it? Do you have
no,
some
it's the
sort
honor
of
system. It's the honor system.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their own, and honor is difficult these days. But now we have Delta virus, the Delta variant, and Delta Plus, and that's supposed to be more wicked.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, and I think it's a very good movement that we have these vaccines now. And from what I understood, maybe that's now outdated. It seemed that the vaccinations offered reasonable protection against even the variants, but that's it, reasonable, right?
What I heard today, someone told me just today, and I haven't verified, that they're saying at least the Pfizer is 86%. Provides you with 86% protection against Delta. I don't know. I don't know if that was specific to Delta Plus.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see.
Who knows? Maybe we're going to get another booster, a third shot. Anyway,
maybe.
It is the top of the hour. We can start this. What the hell just happened? Any news from the pen world, Dr. Brown?
Yeah, I read a very interesting article that I found really nice on the blog of Fude Fan, um, which I would specifically like to point out because I think you and I discussed this in our last episode when we were looking back on the month of May, the merry month of
The
May,
merry
I
month of
should
May,
add.
yes.
Food Fan had a very interesting blog post on Tomoe River because
Oh,
Tomoe River people were losing it. Oh, Tomoe River, Tomoe River, everybody jumping out windows. People are hanging themselves. Tomoe River is out. It's not happening.
right. We should recap
So
that the rumor is that they were going to stop producing Tomato River paper.
yes, and in a nutshell, Food Fan, and I specifically left a comment on that blog to point this out, has done research. And what I appreciate about that is that these days everybody goes along and everybody riles each other up, and that people are jumping out of windows because there's no more Tomoe River paper. Turns out that it's all not true. The only thing that, and I forget what the name of the holding company is at this point, but the company that produced Tomoe River paper had different machines.
Correct.
And different machines were used for different types of Tomoe River paper. And then at some point they said, hello, we're going to move Tomoe River production from this machine to that machine. And I think it was 7 to 9, but I could be wrong here. And then the machine 9 has been retired, and then everybody panicked. Everybody said, "Oh well, this now we're not going to make it. That this is the end of the world. Burn your pens. It's not happening anymore." So then Foodafan contacted the company that makes Tomoe River and said, "So what's the deal?" And they said, which is going to outsource production of Tomoe River paper. So people have bought thousands of notepads, notebooks, over the stacks of paper. The great-grandchildren will use them. And it turns out that it's just going to be outsourced to another company, period.
Well, we did say last month that who knows what's really going on.
Well,
But,
now we know.
apparently,
because someone actually contacted the company, and he or she, I don't know.
I think it's Foodifans is a dude. He's got the
Right.
Tokyo Inklings podcast, and he has been talking about that.
Well, there we go. And that's it. So it was just a matter of an email to the company. The email is reproduced. I can't read it because it's in Japanese. But if I could read it as a translation, the translation says that's it. Now, of course, the actual outsourcing does have to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then that will be the end of Tomoe River paper.
I still
Why?
don't
Because
believe
they
it.
could
I
end
don't
up
believe they're
not
going to do
finding
away with
someone who
Tomato
can
River
make it.
paper. It's not going to happen.
But I don't think it is going to happen because it's too successful a product.
But
So now
if
all
you
this
want to
panic and all
buy,
that,
if you
like,
want to buy more paper, buy more paper. By all means, get it. Get all you can get your hands on.
I'm not sure you can anymore because I think it's all anywhere because people were putting like 20,000 notepads in a shopping cart. It was like $500,000 bills for all this paper, and then at the end of the day, it's probably going to be back next month.
Probably.
Like,
But,
what can we say?
they'll
I mean,
have all they need for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Do you
And-
remember the web address URL of that blog?
No, but I can. If anyone wants to do it right now, Google Foodifan Tomoe River, and it's the first thing that comes up.
Okay. I won't do it right now because I'm talking to you, but just so
Yeah, I'm
other
talking to you,
people can
but
find it.
But if you want to, you can find it. It's not difficult. It's just it's right there, on the tips of your fingers.
And did you say last time that you were coming around to Tomoe River paper and liking it more than you had in the past?
Yes, I tend to be sometimes, I know this of myself, I can be a bit contrarian, which you probably would never have guessed. But the
Never.
thing is that when everybody loves something, then I have this instant urge not to love something. It applies to all kinds of things. And when I initially tried Tomoe River, I had that. It's an irrational hatred of certain things. So I was like, I don't like it. It's too crinkly. I don't like it. It's too thin. But over time, I have to admit, it has grown on me. It is very nice paper. It performs very nicely. It has, in my mind, the best capacity to bring out sheen of an ink of any paper. It's just wonderful. But I will say this, if I would hear tomorrow that the production of Tomoe River paper will not be outsourced, I'm not jumping off the building. I mean, it's not that I love it to such an extent that I feel the need to utterly panic if it would be off the market tomorrow. I mean, I don't like it that much. You know?
Is there anything that you like that much? No.
Well, you.
Well, okay.
I mean,
Yes,
if you would be,
I'll be
if you would be
outsourced next
if I
week,
get an
so
email tomorrow, Eric is discontinued.
it's time to
Well,
panic.
what's the point? What's the point in living? Just jump off the building straight away,
I
obviously.
don't know. I think I appreciated Tomoe River paper more in the past than I do now. Now, yes, you're right. It does sheen and shows off the ink, but it doesn't dry. The ink will not dry. It drives me bananas. And so, if it goes away, it goes away. Personally, I hope that Hobonichi comes up with a different kind of paper. Because if they continue with Tomoe River, I'm not going to buy another Hobonichi. Because you can't close the book.
But this is something that I just recorded yesterday. I recorded a consulted doctor video where I talk about the issue, because many people have now asked me about Tomoe River, and I pretty much raised the point that you just raised. But then there will be something else. Nothing is permanent. So if something is discontinued, then you have the pleasure of finding something else, and that can be fun. And there will be something else, because I can also pretty much guarantee that if Tomoe River paper is truly discontinued, another manufacturer will step in and will make something like that, because it's a successful product.
Perhaps they already
So
are.
there will
We
be
just
something.
haven't heard about them.
Perhaps there are.
Yeah.
Maybe it's being retro-engineered as we're speaking. That Rhodia is now, you know, analyses are being done. All kinds of stuff is happening. You're gonna have Rhodia Tomatenpapier, and then it will be boom on the market, done.
Yeah, I'd buy that. So the point is, it's probably not being discontinued. It's just being moved to another machine, being outsourced. Will continue. Stop panicking. But I still say, if you want to buy some paper, buy some paper.
And I wonder who contributed so much to this panic. It's almost like people were discussing on air that Tomoe River paper is going to be discontinued.
I'd have to go watch it again, but I believe our conclusion was that Tomoe River paper was not going to be discontinued. We did not believe it. It's almost as if we own stock.
I know we were creating a run on Tomoe River paper. Sorry.
What are we going to claim as discontinued tonight? You sent me, I don't know, what do you want to talk about first? Do you have something?
No, you can because you were setting up a picture I sent you, I believe.
I was, yes. Is that the one you want to talk about? But before we do that, I will say that I did acquire something new this past month.
Oh, you show that.
I'll show that. I don't have a picture of it, but I think it's very recognizable. It's
isn't that
it's a little bottle of ink.
Is that Mont Blanc?
As a matter of fact, no. It's a different logo. Apparently, it is your thumbprint. I got myself a bottle after having been without for some time of SBRE brown ink. So there's that. Very excited about that. I
Wonderful.
did immediately put it into a pen, of course. Before I move on to that pen, well, I'll move on to that pen right now. Has my lost letter shown up?
No.
No.
Gone.
So it's gone. It's gone forever.
It's
because
gone.
when I got the SBRE brown ink, I put it in my Parker 51 vintage. You gotta say that now, don't you? My vintage Parker
Vintage,
51. And as I was squeezing it to get the ink in and out of it, I remembered something I wrote in that letter to you. The lost letter.
Your memories are all that remains. So
yes. Well, remember, I told you it was several pages. Who knows what I wrote? But when I was filling this pen, I said, "Oh, that's right. I mentioned that I was writing the letter with this pen I just got, which was a new old stock Parker 51, and very likely it's the first letter ever written by this pen because it was new old stock. So the first letter it ever wrote, doomed."
In the garbage.
Like, who knows where it is?
Again.
It could be on the wall. Somebody may have found it, liked my writing, framed it.
Yep.
I'm sure it's on the wall somewhere in Red Deer.
100 years from now, it could be in the Red Deer Art Museum.
You should go check. That's your homework for this month. You go check. But I have more homework for you, because speaking of SBRE brown ink, and speaking on behalf of myself and the entire fountain pen community, because you know I am the mouthpiece of the fountain pen community. It is time, Dr. Brown. It is time. Call your people and produce SBRE blue. It wouldn't be that difficult because you have nothing to do with it. You just pick the color and say, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it's true. It's the easiest thing. Yeah, I should discuss whether that would be of interest. I know I get a lot of questions about it. Why not?
Why not? And I want to report next month on the air.
Yeah, no, I shall reach out to my factor. Yeah.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
that was easy. That was easy.
Yeah, I want it.
All right, your turn now.
Yeah, no, I have I got in a new pen just a short while ago. I have sent you a picture which you might be able to share with the populace.
I am putting it on the screen now. You got a new Metropolitan.
Yes, it's a brand new Metropolitan, which this was actually a gift from a student, but that's a different matter. The other pen in that picture is made by the man, the myth, the legend, as people say. Now, I thought I would spend a little bit of time talking about this. This pen is made by Sebastian Schweitzer of Schweitzer Feine Schreibgeräte. Unfortunately, I do not have a URL because it doesn't exist. Sebastian Schweitzer conducts business, I think, because I Googled it, I couldn't find a website, through Instagram. So unfortunately, you can't get it through a website or in a shop, as far as I know. You have to contact the company through Instagram. Now, this is a gentleman who I want to say is in Germany, and the name notwithstanding, because Schweitzer could of course mean that he's in Switzerland, but that's not the case. It is a German person as far as I know, and he makes pens by hand. Now, years ago, I actually reviewed one of his pens. This is really years ago. I was in the Netherlands still, and it was a nice pen. But now he sent me a new pen, because he used to do wood pens, and there's obviously still wood in this pen. It is desert diamond wood, thanks for asking. And there is also a turquoise acrylic on there, so now he also puts acrylic bits in there. I thought it was a very pleasant pen. It's very comfortable to use. It's a larger pen, and if people want to know, the retail price for this is 380 euros, but that is with an 18 karat nib of your choice, and it's entirely handmade. So given that it's very small numbers of pens, it's quite artisanally made and that it's comfortable, I thought that was a reasonable price for the work and the materials that gone in there. This is what I have.
I had removed the picture momentarily,
Yeah.
so that we could see you speaking. I'm going to put it back up. It is back
Always
up now,
dry.
so we can't see you. Is that wood in the pen?
Yes, it's
And what
desert
kind of wood
diamond
is
wood.
that?
Thanks for asking. It's desert diamond wood, which is a very nice wood.
Where do you
most people
find
wouldn't
desert
recognize it.
diamond wood?
In the desert.
In the desert.
And yeah.
Is there
I
a
think.
clip on this pen?
There is no clip,
No
so
clip.
it is rolly. So you have to use some sort of desk stand device.
It's a very handsome looking pen.
It is quite
it
pretty.
a
It has a
slip
lot of
cap,
twins.
or do I
It's
see
twist.
threads down at the bottom, very close
No,
to
the
the
threads-
nib?
Yes. Sorry, you're right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I forgot which particular picture I sent you, but you can see it. Yeah, so the threads are kind of like where Franklin Christoph puts them, all the way at the end
I
of
was going to
the
say that.
section.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's a gorgeous pen, but I assume you don't have it. Otherwise, you'd be holding it up to your screen and
I don't
trying
have
to
it
use
right
a
here
loop in
with
front
me,
of your
but
camera.
that's why I sent you a picture. I
And-
thought
but
that
you
would be
have
fun if
reviewed
people
this,
could actually see
and
it.
we can look forward to seeing it on your what is that, YouTube
Yeah.
channel?
I have, according to some, a YouTube channel. The current date for this particular review is September 6th, because I'm booked. I am booked. My God, am I booked. So
Wow.
it's not until September 6th it's going to be up.
We can wait. We can wait.
But all good things come to those who wait.
And you said they can only be found on Instagram.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Instagram name is Schweizer_Feine_Schreibgeräte. So
Okay,
I
so
don't really know how
What we're going to
easily
do
we can...
is put that in the comments below.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not right now, but when this is a finished
No.
video that is on YouTube, we can actually go in and edit the comments or
Yeah.
description, I guess. Or you could just comment on your
Yeah.
own video and pin it to the top
I can
or something
put
like
my
that.
video because it's worth it. But but it's for all of our friends who do not speak German, this sounds like so I mean, I understand that Schweizer feine Schreibgeräte is not something that one immediately spells without speaking
Is
the
he by
language.
any chance a doctor?
Not that I know of.
What's his first name?
Why, is something wrong with you,
No.
Dr. Schweitzer? Oh, no, I thought were you in need of a doctor? That it could happen. Are there any doctors in
I
the
was just
audience?
wondering
Maybe
if it was Dr. Schweitzer.
Dr. Schweitzer, not that I know of.
Okay. Well, we will definitely put a link to his Instagram account in the description or the comments of this video.
Or both.
Or both. Why not both? I think that's what the kids are saying these
Hashtag
days.
YOLO.
Why not both? What else you got?
Well, why don't you do something? Because
Okay.
you have sent me 1 or 2 or 20 pictures.
Yeah, I even have show and tell.
Pick a thing.
Can you see that?
I can see that. It looks like a yellowish golden colored ink.
Do you see any sparkles in it?
I do see sparkles in it.
Do you know what ink this is?
I am going to go with, this is the new
Bum, bum, bum.
Pelikan Edelstein Ink of the Year.
It is.
This is the German
It
themed
is.
show, isn't it?
And it's their first foray into sparkly inks, and it's gorgeous.
I know.
I like sparkly inks, and I like yellows too, but I usually use a fine nib, as you know, and so they don't do as well on a fine nib. There's no sparkles. You can't see any sparkles. The yellow is hard to read if it's in too fine of a nib. But it is here. It has been released. This is the, I believe, the Ink of the Year 2021. And I
think
know
so.
it's their first foray into sparkly ink.
It's about damn time, Eric.
So yeah.
Everyone else is doing it.
Do you remember we talked about Diplomat coming out with inks?
Yes, I
I'm
do.
glad you remember that because I had to remind myself. They have arrived, and I just wanted to show the bottle because the bottle is so cute. And
That is cute.
the reason
looks
it's
like a
cute
little
is because it's
pelican.
small. Small. Well, not tiny,
That is cute.
but small. I think it's 20. No, it's
Dollars or milliliters?
30. 30
Above.
milliliters. 30 milliliters. 13.50 US. But cute. Speaking of cute, I'll just keep going.
That looks like the Pelican bottles. Is it a Pelican bottle?
It's identical to a Pelican bottle, but much smaller. So it's it's a smaller size Pelican bottle. And
Fascinating.
someone else's bottle looks like that too that I can't recall off the top of my head. But I am assuming they were getting all their inks from the same place.
Wasn't it Lindauer?
I think it was. No, that doesn't sound familiar. But wherever they're getting their inks made, they seem to have this shape in mind. Monteverdi inks, I don't think we talked about those.
No, we did not, but the pictures looked very nice.
They came out.
Very
I'm
nice.
showing a picture right now with a jungle ink series, and they're just inks with nice colors. But the bottles, they put really cute little animals on the bottles, and because they're very affordable. What are they? They're 30 mils for $10. These go really nicely. They're really easy to make. I'm not thinking about this purchase. So I brought the turtle because the turtle's cute.
Yeah.
And the turtle again is one of those inks. It doesn't have any shimmer, but it's a beautiful blue. But it's kind of on the pastel side for me. So I don't know if it would work in a. I'm going to find out though. If it's going to work too well in a fine nibbed pen, because usually I go for something. This is the zebra, which I'm going to
that's
call
pretty
a
nice,
blue
too.
black, but it's a cute little zebra. Cute little zebra.
That's cute.
And I'm going to continue and finish off my inks. Can you tell me who makes this bottle?
That looks like Lamy.
That is a Lamy bottle. Have you ever seen Dr. Brown? Because I hadn't. The cute size?
I had never seen that.
It's
I did
30
not
mil.
know.
And it
I did
doesn't
not
have
know it
the...
existed.
The Lamy is famous for having this
Toilet
blotting
paper
paper
on
in it, but that nobody uses because that's ridiculous. But this one doesn't have it, but
But
it
the
does
idea
have
is
the
nice.
little divot in the middle. So, but I mean, who doesn't want that? Now, I don't know where you get
It is
this.
cute.
I know you get this at Anderson Pens. It comes free with the purchase of a Lamy Safari in either mango or violet or aquamarine. But I don't know
Huh.
that this is sold anywhere separately. And I don't know if this is going to make it back to the store.
eBay.
eBay's good for everything. Someone has it.
Chances that you should maybe take 5 or 10,
And as far as I know,
and
it
then
only
we'll check
comes in
you
the
out.
blue ink. But their blue ink is pretty good if you like blue.
That's pretty good.
I'm still looking forward to my SBRE blue, but we'll get there. You must have something
I
else.
know. And yes, and you sometimes, as my granddad used to say, you can dance even if it is not with the king.
I've heard that.
There you go.
I'm not sure what it means or why you're bringing it
Even
up.
well, that even the second-rate products. I mean, if you can't have the first-rate product, then the second-rate product will be
you're,
okay
you're
too.
trying to bring the conversation back to Tomoe River, aren't you?
In lieu, yes, in in lieu of SBRE blue, you can use Lamy blue, and
Well,
it will not be the
I
same
can't
because
just empty this. I'll decant it into something.
Yeah.
Get the stickers off of it, put some blue ink in it, and call it SBRE blue. I have the only
you
bottle
could.
on the planet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that would probably go for $500,000 or $600,000 on
I
eBay.
was thinking $5 or $6, but I'll take it.
You'd try. You'd start a bidding war.
Start a bidding war. You'd be bidding, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
Against yourself.
That would be- yeah.
Anyway, you have a pen to show me, I'm sure.
Did I show you? And I do not remember. Did I show you last time the pens that I got from Gravitas Pens?
That does look familiar, yes.
Yeah, Ben Walsh design.
Yes.
Ben Walsh, well, that is Gravitas Pens, but Ben Walsh, he makes them in Ireland. Does that sound familiar?
That does not sound familiar.
Yeah, as I understand it, he's Irish. I think this because the pens came from Ireland. They are machined pens, number 6 nib. This is a blue fountain pen, and the model name is Blue Fountain Pen. And then it comes in a cute little sleeve, which smells like aftershave. It's very interesting. And then there is this one. This is the entry. I should show you the green one, which is quite pretty. Also metal, also entry, green. Cute, number 6 nib, Yovo. Pretty decent size, comfortable. And I simply do not recall if I showed you these last time or not.
No, they,
Also smells like
they
aftershave.
don't look. Well, what doesn't look familiar is you sniffing that pen sleeve. So I'm sure I would have
Yes,
remembered that because
Yeah, I probably didn't. Yeah, no, and they are nice, and I find them quite affordable. So it is Gravitas pens.
I was
see.
going to ask if they are affordable.
They are indeed affordable. At least I find them for machine pens. I find them pretty affordable, and I got very excited thinking on the finial here. You can't see. Let me clip
Oh
on
yes,
my
we
device.
can't have a show with that.
Talk amongst yourselves. Stop talking. Okay, here is this is a finial, which I thought was a glass breaker, but it is something that's just there to make sure that the tip doesn't get damaged. So it's
Is it
like
a
different
stylus?
things. No, it's nothing. I think that if you use it as a stylus, I do have a phone here, probably going to crack the screen. Thank you very much. No, it doesn't work as a stylus. Not a sausage.
Not a sausage. No stylus. What's on the pen sleeve?
On the pen sleeve, I'll show you. Let me clip on my device. On the pen sleeve is
Stop
the
asking
logo.
questions. Yes.
There is Gravitas pens,
Yes.
and then there is this shape.
Is that shape?
Yeah, it symbolizes the origins of the universe.
So it's writing of some kind.
I have no idea. I just made that up. I thought it would be funny to kind of try and spread that rumor. I don't. There's probably a reason for this. For a second I thought maybe it's Morse code. I haven't come up with it. This has a meaning, but I just haven't spent a lot of time looking at it. I bet it has meaning. We should ask Ben. Ben, if you're watching this, please tell us
Yes.
the hell that
Please
means.
tell us. So what are the price points on these?
They're pretty affordable.
Okay. Steel nibs?
I forgot. Sorry, the
Steel
what?
nibs?
Yes, these are steel nibs.
Okay.
And I always like to look at it this way. For a good steel nib, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's good. So I mean,
I'm going to write that down and quote you on that.
yeah, no, it's. I found all of these nibs in all seriousness because I'm not trying to make fun here. He sent me a fine, a medium, and a broad. All of them out of the box I found very pleasant to use. I am seeing prices here that range a bit. The entry pen that I mentioned before is on his website for 55 euros. The black one, the thinner one. I think that's a pretty affordable price.
What about that blue one?
The blue one is a different price. And I can tell you in just a second. The blue one is 70 euros. I mean, 70 euros for a machine pen with a steel nib. That's properly machined. It's well done. Everything is flush. It's really nicely done. A nice taper here, which is really quite comfortable. I think it's a good deal. I felt it was a good deal.
It's a cartridge converter, obviously.
Yeah, it's cartridge converter.
You said number 6 nib. And is the material aluminum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is.
So
it is.
Everyone should go look at Gravitas pens.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I think it's a nice thing. And
yeah.
if we went over this last week, then I'm sorry.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
I'm getting older, so I mean, I forget what I've shown people and what I haven't. You know.
Well, we can review that.
36 years old, Eric. I mean.
Yeah. You're so old. What are we going to do with you?
I know.
It's all downhill for you.
It is. It is. But the only good thing about it is that I will now just forget that I'm getting older, so that's okay. What else did you have?
Do you still own an Opera Master?
Yes, I do.
And is it still one of your favorites?
Yeah, I like it. I still very much like it.
Still very much like it.
Nice size pen.
They came out with a new Opera Master color, Savannah.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
It is pretty.
I like it a lot. I have never owned an Opera Master. But you like yours.
I love mine.
Does yours have a metal section?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a power filler?
Of course. It's an Opera Master.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would expect. Well, I had an Opera Master which had the old style power filler, which you unscrewed the entire barrel and it was sort of like a syringe thing.
Yeah, but weren't those made a long, long time ago, right?
Long time ago, and they were. I never got that thing to really fill a whole lot. But anyway, no, I like it a lot. It's a bigger pen. It's heavier, relatively heavier. Depends a bit on what kind of material they use, but mine is definitely not light. I think it's a very comfortable shape and size, personally.
It is. It fits nicely in the hand.
Yeah.
I just
maybe need an Opera Master.
Well, I always compare them to that Wall Street that I had.
Ah, yes.
Ages and ages ago, which was they had two Wall Streets, one that had a metal section, I think, and one that had the pen material in the section, and that was an awesome pen.
It was beautiful.
Never used it, but it was wonderful, and it had that nib. Was it a 1.2, a 2.1? I sent you a copy of it.
3.5, 9.8.
Some kind of very
but
nice.
It was a step.
Very, very nice
1.3,
stuff. Very nice stuff. But I think I like the material. I just like the way it looks.
Oh, it's nice.
Yours is a reddish one, isn't it?
Yes, it's a translucent
Yeah, this
brown.
is too. Probably can't see it, but it is translucent. Well, not as much as yours, I don't think.
No, I think mine is more because we can actually see the mechanism.
Right, this one you can't.
Unless you hold a very powerful flashlight against it.
Or crack it open.
Or crack it open.
We could always do
with
that.
a hammer.
You
can see everything on the inside.
Do you have another pen for us? Because I've got at least one more here.
I didn't really get in much this specific month that you haven't seen last time. So this is it.
This is it.
Could have just said no.
Could have said no.
but I decided to go the long way, as you
Did you
know.
make no pen purchases
Oh no, I have not made a pen purchase since
since 2018?
before the dark days, before the empire. Go ahead.
Last month we did mention a new line of Sailor pens, the Sounds of Rain series,
We did.
or Sound of Rain series. They did come in. They did fly out the door. But this is a summer rain, and it is a matte finish, greenish, that is in real life absolutely gorgeous. I do not own this pen. It has gold furniture, and I don't care for gold furniture. But the material is gorgeous, and these were slightly pricier than normal Pro Gear Slims because they put the 21 karat nib on it, a two-tone 21 karat nib. They were really going for fancy there. And these Pro Gear Slims fit my hand, but they're small size. They're small size.
Mm-hmm.
You can post them, but more of this series is coming. But they were gorgeous. They were absolutely gorgeous. So I just thought I'd mention that because that is one of the things that just happened. And all I've got left here is Sailor pens. They had threatened to come out with the Sunset Over the Ocean, and they did. It is, I think I have a picture of this one. It is a blue barrel end cap with little sparkles on it. 50 states. Oh, I forgot the 50 states. We'll have to go back to that. Sunset Over the Ocean is now on the screen. I think I showed that last month because they were coming, and now they're here. They come in Pro Gear Slim, Pro Gear, and King of Pen, which is massive. But they did a good job. The thing
That looks pretty good.
The only thing that Sailor is kind of bugging me about these days is that they're coming out with so many pens so quickly. I don't know what they're playing at. The Trinity, I don't think we talked about. It had been coming and arrived all in 1 month. Is a stealthy pen. It's a 1911 standard and large, glossy black barrel cap with black furniture. It's that black ion furniture and a nib. But that also is a very gorgeous pen.
It looked on the pictures you sent. It looked very attractive to me. I really like that because it's a black nib too, right?
Black nib too.
It's very nice.
It's a gorgeous pen.
I remember back in the day at FP Geeks we had the discussion of whether a pen could be a stealth pen if it didn't have a black nib.
I hope we fell on the side of no, it cannot be.
I think opinions were divided, but I agree. It needs a black nib, and it's very nice. I think it's a very attractive model. It looks really good. I really like the looks of that. I wish there was a King of Pen like that. That would probably be $4,000, but it would be an interesting look.
It would be $800 some odd if they did the King of Pen in this. That's the price on the Sunset Over the Ocean in the King of Pen size.
Yeah.
They do make this shape in the King of Pen. You just can't find it in the Trinity. And speaking of Sailor, I forgot, I'm going to show a picture of Sailor 50 States inks. They just announced them. They'll be in stores starting tomorrow. They're releasing all 50 states, but they're doing it slowly, 2 at a time. The ones that are coming out this week are Idaho and Washington. They have also, at least for these two, taken to creating artwork that shows off the color of the ink. I don't know how they did it, whether it's actually done by hand or just on a computer using what they think the ink will look like. But the artwork I liked, and that's a nice green. I am not usually a fan of green inks, but this one has a little earthiness to it that I kind of enjoy. I guess that's what I like about it. If I like a green ink, it's going to have a little darkness to it. That was the Jonathan Swift by Montblanc, that green ink that I really liked.
It was a good one.
When it was available. Not that it is anymore.
I think this is very nice,
eBay.
And I think that each of these inks should just have 4.7 inks go in the tagline or something. I think it's quite nice. So are we assuming that they will be doing all all 50 states. It's going to be.
Yeah, I think this is numbers 14 and 15, or 17 and 18. They're almost halfway there, but they're releasing. It seems like 2 a month or 2 every other month. So, and
I think it's very smart. I think it's a clever move. It's very collectible that way, and it's doable in price, because if you launch 50 inks, nobody's going to buy 50 inks in one go.
no, that's how they had to do it. So they're releasing lots of inks and they're releasing lots of pens. I think the Sailor 50 State inks are going for $25 a bottle, and that's a small bottle. It's I want to say, yes, it's 20 mil, $25. But you're right, that's collectible. Because if you get 3, you better get all 50 states. So
that's the thing.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, I think it's very wise, and they, yeah, it's interesting, and I agree. I think they're kind of nice. If those are the actual colors, I think they're actually nice colors.
They'll be very close.
Well done.
They'll be very close.
Well done.
In other news, the Lamy 2000 Special Edition Brown will be here in a week or so. I did not.
I'm
buy
a little
one.
pissed off that I wasn't consulted. If you're going to make something brown, and then you don't contact me, then I think that
I
you're
think you should write
remiss.
a letter or send an email, or just tell us how you
I
feel
will.
right here. I'm sure it'll get back to them.
Yeah, I feel hurt in the deepest of my being that Lamy did not contact me for ideas on what shade of brown.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be nearly black, like the blue one was black.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably
sure they're
all-
just releasing the standard Marcolon black ones and saying, "Oh, it's brown, Emperor's New Clothes."
Yeah.
No, this
and
one-
nobody knows because you can't tell.
That's right. You can't tell.
Nobody can tell. You can't argue with
I
it.
like the blue one.
No.
The brown one, I'm not too excited about, but I think they're probably trying to think about how maybe businessmen in a boardroom might be using these pens, and they don't want to pull out a pink Lamy 2000.
No. You would.
I would. I'm waiting for the red one. If they get a red one, I'm going to have to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot pink,
Yeah.
red.
Well, it's been such a serious pen for so long. This is
Mango
being
yellow.
released for their 55 years of making the Lamy 2000, and it's always been just a black pen,
Yeah.
except for the stainless steel
The
ones
metal.
that they made, and then the
Yeah.
blue one, and now the brown one. I can hope for red in the future.
I think a neon green with purple dots, polka dots,
Okay.
I would genuinely consider. Genuinely consider.
Anything with polka dots. A Lamy 2000 with
There you
polka
go.
dots? I don't care what color it is.
timeless.
I'd have to have that one.
It's timeless. Well, there you go. Another problem solved.
Another problem solved. But the question is, who do we write to? I'm sure you have all the contacts.
Yeah, but they're on a need-to-know basis.
Do you know who we haven't mentioned?
No, who have we not
We
mentioned?
haven't mentioned Joost. How's he doing?
Well, he's going to send me a Lamy 2000 Brown. He doesn't know this yet.
Now, there's... oh, gosh, I want to be able to say how many they're making. I forget how many they're making. 3,000, 3,300.
Let's say 2000.
I know that only 60 are coming to the States. They're really being spread about the world, and I'm sure he'll send you one if you demand it, but he doesn't have to. Carlos says we need to write to Mr. Lamy. That's a very good idea. I'm surprised we didn't think of it.
It's a Lamy, yeah. I think that with these, I find the whole concept of the limited editions to be becoming a little bothersome with all these things. It's a sailor, and they make 3, or here's 5, or here's a sunset, here's a sunrise. How many are there? 2. I just think it's a bit, isn't it? Like, I don't know. It gives me it. I understand that you're appealing to a collector's market, and the fountain pen world is a collector's market. I fully understand limited editions from that perspective, but I'm just, I just feel that there is so much coming out. As you said, I mean, there's 3 sailors coming out every month
It
now,
seems
and
that
there's
way.
50
It
of
seems
these
that
and
way.
10 of these, and I just, I'm not really, to use an appropriate expression, I'm not really feeling it. I'm not really feeling this. Oh, there's 60 here, and there's only 3 in the entire United States, and we're going to have gladiatorial combat to figure out who can get one. Like I don't. It doesn't really work for me, Eric.
Well, you could still find the standard Lamy 2000 anywhere.
Yeah, but that's not brown. That's blackish,
You got some spray paint, I'm sure.
anthracite. Yeah, no, it's true. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I kind of like. I don't want to necessarily mention him again, but I do so because the aftershave is so good. But I mean, take someone like Ben Walsh. You just release something in smaller batches, sure. But I don't think that anything is really limited. And he does fun stuff with multiple colors and such. But I mean, I would find that fairer because I feel I was bringing up this point without fully knowing what the point was yet. But that's the story of my life. But I think that my point now is you are creating this sense of there's only 15. Oh, gotta buy. And I just don't really like that aspect of it. Of like you create the idea that something is super limited and that people need to pounce on it straight away, and that otherwise you're going to miss out. You create fear of missing out, and that I find a little unnecessary, really. What's the point? Why do you make 50? If Sailor is going to launch the sunrise over Kilimanjaro next month, then why would you make 200? Why not make 20,000? I understand from a business perspective. I understand you want to sell them and you want to, but I don't really like that pen users are treated that way. Now that's just, I mean, cry me a river because this is what business is. I understand that. But I'm just venting my opinion here, venting my feelings.
You sound
This is a
frustrated.
safe space.
You sound frustrated. Yes, it's a very safe space. I don't particularly have a problem with it. They want to sell the pens they make. They want to be sure. They want to be sure that all the pens they're going to make are gone. Just get them out there and sell them. You have mentioned Sailor many times. I don't think any of the pens I showed tonight are from Sailor. They're making a lot of new pens, but I don't think any of them are, we're only making 100 of them.
No.
But the Lamy 2000, I don't know, there is something special about having the limited edition in a limited edition that is also numbered, because that one is numbered. The blue one was numbered. Esterbrook, last month we talked about the Esterbrook SD Aqua, which was a now they were limited. They said this is a one-time deal, sell them, and they sold. They weren't numbered, but they were limited. Every pen made can't be a production pen.
No, it's true. So it's probably not nearly as big a deal as I made it seem. I just got irrationally angry for a moment, but now it's okay.
Is that because you want a Lamy 2000 brown?
No, I don't. But that's the issue. I don't, because again, this is what I mentioned before. Now everybody wants it, and then my immediate reaction is, yeah, well then I don't.
Oh.
Keep your brown Lamy 2000. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't have a blue one.
River all
I don't have
over
a blue one.
Yeah, well,
I've got the black one.
we'll write them.
We'll write to them. I don't think Lamy has invented this. I think Nakaya came out with an anniversary pen.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now we're going to go back to Sailor. Sailor does have the 110th anniversary pen coming.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be here in May, supposed to be here in June. Tomorrow is July. I assume it'll be here any day. And that's very limited, very expensive. But I don't think I'd want them to make... I think an anniversary pen has to be somewhat fancier than
It has
normal, and therefore
yeah, it has
more
to be special.
expensive, and
And
they can't make that a
again,
production pen.
I also have some limited edition pens, and I mean, I understand that, and again, I also fully understand it from a business perspective. It's just that as a consumer, I I
You
feel
don't.
strange,
You
but I don't want
feel
to repeat myself.
manipulated. You feel manipulated.
Yes, and I feel like I would like, but this kind of ties into what we said last time. I don't want to repeat that discussion, but I mean, then come out with something that's radically new. We are now living, Marco Pierre White quote, we're living in an age, no, I think he said, see, I misquote, so it's not, I shouldn't have said quote, because now I start to doubt myself. We don't live in an age of invention, but in an age of refinement. And I think that's more and more the case. Nobody is inventing anymore. No fountain pen company is inventing anymore because it has been invented, and we're just going off what we know now. That's why there are 500 different types of Homo sapienses and 1911s and Lamy safaris and all that kind of stuff. And we just keep releasing slightly different variations of that. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, right? But I would like to see, when do we, what was the last completely new pen that Lamy came out with? This is a model we have never seen before.
A model we've never seen from Lamy.
I don't mean to pick on Lamy, but I'm just
No,
saying that I
you're
don't.
saying anybody.
All I remember
Yeah.
is Safari, L-Star for Safari, 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 Safari. Here is what we started off with: the Savannah green and the terracotta orange. So it's what we have seen before. The last new Lamy I remember was that, what was it called, the Imperio or something, that ribbed metal thing. But that was basically also a re-release of an older model that just hadn't produced for a while. So I don't remember seeing anything truly innovative that made me think, well, god damn,
No,
Lamy
but-
has done it. That's a completely new, I don't I don't recall having that
The
feeling.
fountain pen itself
it
was
goes
the
for most pen
innovation.
makers. Sorry?
The fountain pen itself was the innovation.
Yes, but I mean, you can think of all the models initially that Visconti had, a new model and a new model and a new model. It was a very creative process. And I'm not saying, I mean, now, I think it is mainly, oh, here's another opera master, here's another opera master, here's another Homo sapiens, here's another opera master. And look, I fully, like, again, I'm not naive. I understand it's much easier to change some parameters of something you already have than develop something entirely new from scratch. Of course it is. It's cheaper, it's more economical, it's more effective. I understand all that. I mean,
Well,
hey,
hey,
you know?
it seems like you're fighting the system, though. Not that I don't understand what you're
course.
saying.
And I don't expect any changes either. I'm just saying.
Look at Pelican's
Yeah.
top tier line. I know they have student pens, but the M400, 600, 800, 1000, those are all the same pen. The only thing they really can do is make it this color, make it that color, make it a different color to appeal to different people.
Yeah. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Well, don't answer that because
maybe
I already know
not.
the answer. But I mean, I mean, I wonder, and this is something that I would appreciate seeing in the comments. What do you feel? How do people feel about this? Am I the only one who feels this way? If so, sure, no problem. I'll shut up. But if I mean, are there other people out there? Because then we should just stop buying safaris. Nobody buys a safari. See what happens. Not gonna happen ever. I know this. But I mean, leave your valuables. We'll march away. This is a revolution. This is how this works.
So yes, okay. So you've stated what you don't like. What is it you want? You want there to be only one pen manufacturer that makes only one kind of pen, or do you want all the pen manufacturers to make only one kind of pen and never change the color? Or
what I would like to see is once in a while, and I'm not saying 5 times a year, but once in a while, for a company to say, here's a new model we're trying out.
Okay, so you're talking about TWSBI.
An octagonal.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, TWSBI.
What are they? I can't think of what they may have come up with brand new recently, but for a while there, they were brand new.
Yeah, and that's, again, because I mean, one thing that I refuse to believe is that a company like say Lamy. I don't want to pick on Lamy, so why don't we pick someone else? That a
Mont
company like a
Blanc.
Parker or a Mont Blanc, well, but Mont Blanc. Now I'm really like this is very painful for me to say, but what I do have to admit is Mont Blanc does make new things. They have the great characters and they have the writers edition
Yes.
and they come up with something else.
All limited edition,
All limited editions,
which is one of the things you didn't
but
like.
which one thing I didn't like, but it is new. It's not just a 149 with a red dot on it, and then a 149 with a green dot on it, and then a yellow 149, and
No,
then a red
but I mean,
149.
my Petit Prince is a 146, and they're just
But
going. They keep changing things. It's the 146, and they said, okay, we'll
it
put
is
it.
a
We'll make it
146.
metal, and we'll. Now you
But
wouldn't
it looks
necessarily
very
know
different.
that. It's quite different.
It has a very different texture and feeling to it. And I mean, look at all the writers editions. Every time it's a new pen model. It might be based off a 149 size or 146, but I mean, they tack on all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying that I necessarily love that either, because apparently I don't like anything.
No,
It's
but
impossible
okay.
to satisfy. But they do something completely new every time, with new design elements, and not just, well, here's the clip that we've used 600,000 times, let's put it on again. Like they try to do something else. Take the Hitchcock or the whatever.
The Hitchcock was nice too.
Yeah, the Hitchcock
That
was
was
nice.
very nice.
But I mean, with that kind of stuff, then, so what I would like to see is that the next time we do this, that then we say, here is an octagonal Lamy. We've never seen this before, but here's a whole new thing that Lamy is trying. They said, you know what? We give it a try. Because I understand there's a lot of cost involved in the design and all that, but I cannot believe that Lamy doesn't have the money to come up with a new model. I don't believe that.
No, I don't
So
believe it either. But they're going with the tried and true.
yeah, and that again, that makes sense from a
But
business
that
perspective.
leaves
That
the
makes
market
sense.
open for some other company to be innovative.
Yes.
Now we say that Mont Blanc is innovative, but these are very expensive pens. Very.
Yeah, they are.
I
But
don't.
that's the price, I think, of making something in a smaller batch that's entirely new. Then the price goes up. So I'm not saying that that's ideal either.
No.
Again, I'm just trying to, for myself, I noticed that I think, yeah, another safari. And some people love another safari because they collect safaris. I'm not trying to sound arrogant or elitist or anything along those lines, but I just sometimes I just want to be wowed now. And I feel that with a lot
It's
of the companies
difficult.
bring.
It's difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
were you wowed with the Elvis pen?
No,
No. It was a bit gaudy.
it was
But
different.
I suppose Elvis
But
could have been described as gaudy. But how many pens
yeah,
have we seen, Stephen?
that's
It's
the problem.
very difficult to wow
And,
us.
and that may be it. That may simply be the matter of geez, I've used hundreds of pens, hundreds and hundreds of pens
Yeah.
over the years
It's
with stuff that I borrowed and that I've touched at pen meetings and pen shows and everything. Yes, so maybe it's just
right.
very different.
At one point in your life you had the most amount of pens you ever had. How many was that?
Yeah, something like 300 or so.
And how many do you own now? That you say yes, these
Yeah,
are
I
my
just
pens.
checked. I need to get rid of a few, but I think I'm getting close to 40, and it's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, I see. Maybe I have 12 that I would say yes, these are my pens, and I have them
Yeah,
because I want these pens. But I
and it makes
had at
sense to me.
least 300 at one
Yeah,
point because you're
yeah,
learning. You're seeing every pen
yeah,
is exciting and different and new. So what are
yeah.
we, jaded?
Yeah, that maybe I think, and that is something that I really that I really feel um, that it is becoming more difficult, and I feel that more difficult to blow me away, and that sometimes, and that I want to be careful because this can sound like a very arrogant thing to say, or it can sound like a very
Why don't you say it and I'll interpret it for you? You arrogant so and so.
it's conceited, but I mean it's simple things. Like I think again, like this Ben Walsh pen, I think it's a good pen. It has everything it needs. It may not be everyone's taste, but no pen is. It's well made, and that excites me. It's a well-made product. But the 50th Lamy Safari, it does not. But that's just a matter of taste too, probably, right? So I mean, that's I'm just saying. Like here, I was just venting my mind.
Yes,
I was
good.
just
And you started a conversation, but even you admitted that if they made it a neon green and put polka dots on it, you'd have to have it.
yeah. No, it's true.
So see,
So
you need something something you've never
yeah,
ever even imagined before
it has to be
to
something
wow you.
extreme. Yeah, yeah,
But I think that's
yeah.
true of anyone who's been so involved with any certain thing for a very long time. I
I
can't
think
think
so.
of many pens that you haven't handled, seen, written with, probably reviewed. So you just have a wealth of experience, and novelty is difficult for
Yeah,
you to see.
yeah. I think that's it. And so this was just a very, very long rant.
Yeah, but you feel
It,
better, don't you?
I feel much better. A whole new person,
Did
really.
we solve anything?
I want to buy a Safari straight away and 5 sailors.
I have two of those.
Um,
I have two of those. I
oh,
have
there you go.
I have the Terra Red and the Savannah Green,
There you have it.
and I have a wee ball of Lamy ink.
It is very cute.
So I still
It
get
is
excited
very cute.
about this. I don't necessarily the things that I like and I see. Oh, that's cool. That's lovely. I like that a lot. Now I don't need to own them all. That's the difference with
Yeah,
me.
it is.
I this when I first saw this pen because I wasn't expecting it to be matte, kind of blew me
Yeah,
away. I said, okay, that's different. I don't like the gold,
yeah,
but the material is interesting. I don't need to own it. I don't need to own
yeah,
everything that catches my eye. And there was a time when I did because I didn't have a
yeah.
lot of experience with pens, and I just had to have everything I saw. Um,
And I
so
think it's very normal.
yeah, and I think it's normal for
And
you not
naturally
to
it is.
be. It's more difficult to wow you because you have so much experience with pens. You've seen it all.
Yeah,
You've seen it all,
seen it all.
except a Lamy 2000 in neon green with polka dots.
Yes, and if
And
that ever
I'm going to
exists,
try to
then
arrange
I will
that for
buy it.
you, and I'll send it
Neon
to you
green
on
with
the
purple
air,
polka dots. Yeah,
and we can
yeah,
all witness your wowment.
yeah. And I would be crying with excitement. Crying.
Yeah, polka dot tears instead of crocodile tears.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else you'd like to rant about?
Uh, um, so much, but so little time. So I think it was. No, I think this is always fun, and one of the things that I find really fun, and that too I would like to very much have viewers' opinions of. What I find very interesting about these conversations is that there is pen news, which is always fun, and ink news, and uh, creating another run on Tolman River paper. But what I really appreciate too is the conversations that we have, because we can talk about interesting, more or less pen-related things where we just uh, air our minds, so to speak, and just vent what's on our minds. And I think that's very interesting. To me, that's always one of the highlights of this, and it's always something I look forward to be able to have another conversation with you.
Well,
So
yeah,
I hope that
it's like a
people also
round
find it
table,
interesting.
even though we're at a distance.
Yeah,
And
there you have.
and in case it isn't obvious to anyone, is we do prepare a few things that we're going to share, but none of this is scripted. And
No,
if I mention a Lamy 2000 limited edition in brown and have no idea where Stephen Brown's going to go with it, that just happens.
but that's normal. Nobody knows where I ever go, I
No,
think. I don't think I
no.
often know where I'm going to go. And I think that's the charm of me. You just, like, life, as Barry
Yes,
Brown is like
yes.
a box of
Everybody always
chocolates,
says you're charming.
Yeah,
The
well, yeah,
charming Dr.
that's a
Brown.
lie,
I've heard
obviously,
that many times.
you know, they have it.
Well,
So,
I don't want to end the show tonight feeling that you are somehow disappointed with fountain pens or the fountain pen world.
not at all.
Okay.
No, I think it's great. And I mean, as I said, like, take the Sebastian Schweitzer pen, Schweitzer feine Schreibgeräte that we discussed earlier. I thought it was a beautiful pen. I really think so. Beautiful pen. And this I find much more interesting now, because here you have a small artisanal pen maker. I mean, not he is not small, but I mean, like his business operation is I think a smaller business, because he doesn't churn out 500 million pens a year, as far as I know. But that is someone who makes something from scratch, with passion, with love, and it's clear, it shows in the product. And to me, that now is much more exciting than, oh, here's another X or another Y pen. But I'm not disillusioned. I still like the pen world. I like the pens and the ink, the paper, but not Tomo River, because that may be gone forever. So buy everything you can find while you can.
You haven't mentioned yet, but I'll cut you off before you do. I saw a notice early on in the pen world. It's not just the pens and the ink and the paper, but it's the people. The people are fascinating and passionate.
They are.
And whether they like where the pen world is going or they don't, if they're disappointed for the moment, they wish it was doing this. It's more of a community than the community is the important part.
That I have found the most interesting thing about the entire pen community, that it is people of all ages, all walks of life, all kinds of creeds, all kinds of orientations, all kinds of genders, everything. And that makes it so interesting, because the discussions you can have with people who bring such a diversity to the table, I think, are very interesting. And that makes it always fascinating to go to a pen show. And now that the world appears, for the love of God, and let's hope that it's actually true, but now that the world appears to be going a bit back to normal, we could actually have pen shows again, I think. I'm not saying tomorrow, but in the somewhat near future, I think it will be possible. And if it is, then I would
They just had one. The Triangle Pen Show was just held. The Miami Pen Show is coming up in July. The contract for the Philly Pen Show in January was just signed. And you're going to be there this year, right? Or next year, this time around.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
So at least we're planning to do pen shows.
Oh, yeah.
We were planning to do the last one, too, but we couldn't, in good conscience, try to have a pen show.
Not our fault.
No. So we will, of course, as I assume everybody will, just play things by ear. We have to adapt.
One knows.
If things get better, fantastic. If things take a turn, we'll take whatever steps are necessary to make sure that it doesn't get any worse.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We should say goodnight now.
We should.
We're coming back next month.
We are coming back next month. Next month, I will be out on the final day of the month. So we'll be in touch, but there will be an episode. It's just that we have to plan it a bit differently, but there will be an episode.
We'll plan.
Of us looking back on the month of July.
Yes. Okay. So we can say goodnight now.
We can say goodnight now.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
See you next month.
Bye.
Bye.